You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
It's not acceptable. Yes, we have to continue to protect our players. Yes, we have to continue to protect our players. We've got to continue to support our players in our league. We get to play a basketball game. And AT was exactly right. Like, we get to play a basketball game. And AT was exactly right. Like, we get to play a basketball game. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition. Our league is about elevating women, elevating marginalized communities, including and in being inclusive of all different walks of life. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition. Our league is about elevating women, elevating marginalized communities, including and in being inclusive of all different walks of life.
What's up, Clark Nation? I want to welcome you to part 3 in the series of Who is Stephanie White? We've been asking ourselves this question. I want to know, who is Stephanie White? For those of you who grew up in Indiana and know of her history and her basketball success she had as a schoolgirl and all the way through college, the pros was not as prolific or affluent for Stephanie as her college career and high school career and AAU, if she played AAU back then. We know Stephanie had a decent basketball career, possibly culminating with the championship at Purdue. Since then, Stephanie White has had a stint in the pros. She had injuries. Injuries cut her career short. And I wonder about that because when I was listening to the leaked video by just being, I forgot the Pope, forgive me, man. I ain't trying to butcher you, but Being Frank is his YouTube channel, Just Being Frank, and and one of the former players, talked about how the star players on that team were injured.
What exactly is going on behind the scenes in the locker room with the Indiana Fever? What's happening? Then I interviewed a former Vanderbilt player who had a lot to say about what was going on inside of their locker room while Stephanie White was there. And let's just say it sounds eerily familiar. I'll let you hear it for yourself. Okay, here we go. Let's play this clip. No further ado.
Yeah, basically up, down. So, down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back. We'd probably run about 40 of those and then have to go play a game. Our star players would be hurt all the time. They weren't taken care of the way they needed to be taken care of. Our star players would be hurt all the time. They weren't taken care of the way they needed to be taken care of.
She said they were injured all of the time. You know, when you hear things like that, before I go and judge, I look for an alignment in what she said and in what's happening now with the Fever. Since Stephanie has joined this franchise or rejoined this franchise, CeCe has been hurt. She played in Stephanie's first season. Think about this now. In Stephanie's first season, she only played CeCe 13 games of a 44-game season. That's her first season under Stephanie White. And you're going to listen to, as you heard in her advocate and her role as an advocate for AT and inclusiveness, everything the league should be about after basketball. You all got to get the league where it needs to be before y'all start trying to have all these platforms. You trying to have all these platforms and y'all ain't even got the league on point. CeCe has taken this league in her career, in her short career, farther than anyone else has ever taken the W. I know that upsets a lot of people to hear that, but the facts are the facts. If this were a woman of color doing the same thing, you would have this young lady walking on water. Look how y'all trying to hype up Olivia Miles in her rookie season. Everyone wanted to downplay Cece's efforts as she was breaking record after record after record after record. They were saying, oh, it's just her rookie season. Let's get a body of work before we start handing out all these accolades and passing out all of these accolades. But then you want to hand it over to young Olivia Miles. And look, I like her game. I don't have anything against Olivia Miles, but I want y'all to pay attention to something. All of these people they trying to pump up, are they getting the Caitlin Clark treatment? Olivia Miles ain't leading the league in flagrant fouls. This is her rookie season. If you want to get Caitlin Clark type attention and get the Caitlin Clark treatment, can Olivia Miles lead the league in flagrant fouls and still be as effective? These are questions we're going to have to ask ourselves as we move forward. But back to Stephanie White. Stephanie White, sticking up for AT. 1 minute she appears to be sticking up for her superstar.
I mean, the fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous. The landing spot, when you went to review it, and she still comes down on top of another foot, like, I don't know. Because to me, that's like a do-over on a test. How do you screw it up again? You're coming in here aware of what happened 2 nights ago? And that still happens? Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
The next moment, 24 hours later, she's back sticking up for AT. She's going to say a lot of eloquent things about players not on her roster. She talks well about Kelsey Mitchell. Stephanie, you got to be more consistent. You can't have this love affair with former players you used to coach. Your players on your roster, you can't have a more of an affinity. I guess you can, with your mentor being Lin Dunn. Maybe you shouldn't be the same version of Lin Dunn, just a small version of Dunn, not the version of Dunn. Those times are past. And I know you're trying to revive what you can, but Stephanie, you got to be more consistent with your roster and your players on this team. They've proven now, it was only a couple of games, when you took that hiatus, they've proven they can win without you. The Fever were a playoff team, Stephanie, before you got there. So you taking them deeper into the playoffs was an accomplishment. But to say they couldn't have got there without you, it might be a stretch, Stephanie. So I think we need to take the focus off of Caitlin Clark and her play and her style of play and focus on your coaching. Stephanie, we're waiting for some success. You said when you got here, you wanted to hang banners. Okay, you're going to have to do that the right way, Stephanie. You're going to have to figure out your way, not Lin Dunn's way. I know that's your mentor. You're going to have to figure out your way. She can only teach you so much, Stephanie. At some point, you have to take the reins and make it your own. Just like when that reporter asked you about Congress and what they felt about how Caitlin was being treated in the W.
Several members of Congress sent a letter this week to Commissioner Engelbert. They said they're concerned about what they called physical hostility and violence toward her. One line in particular said, quote, "Concerning reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated." What's your reaction to that?
Our team made a statement yesterday, so you can find that statement.
What the hell did you just say?
No, I understand that. I just mean as a coach, when you hear one of your players is being mentioned in a letter from members of Congress to the commissioner of the league, how do you handle that?
Again, that's not something we can control. We're not affiliated with those groups, and we try to keep the main thing, and focus on the things that we can control.
You tried to deflect to an answer you gave the day before. The reporter wanted to hear how you felt right then and there on the spot, in your own words. You're going to have to become whoever it is you're trying to be. This advocate, that's nice, Stephanie. Win some championships first with your superstar leading the way. You have one of the most transformational players in the game. You have the best transition player in the game. You have a player that has changed the league for everyone, even though they willfully choose to act as if they've done something. You all didn't do anything. You got to give props where they do. Don't get mad at the market for the market liking what they like and trying to market and brand who they choose to. If it was a woman of color, you all wouldn't be arguing about it. The league has gone as far as it has before Caitlin. You all tried to take the league as far as it could go. You were still playing in high school stadiums. That's how far the league went under your leadership. Just think, Cheryl Miller didn't even get to play in the W. As great of and she's in the Hall of Fame. Think about that. You all know she had game on top of game. Think about the people who came along since Cheryl Miller who got to play in the W. And even they couldn't get in NBA arenas. This young lady comes in, and in her first season, attendance goes through the roof. Viewerships goes through the roof. She's like, what, second in jersey sales behind Steph Curry? Ahead of LeBron James? You don't hear them getting jealous of that. That's how fans feel about CC. Why can't you feel like that about CC, Stephanie? And she's in your locker room. You get to see her every day at work. Y'all come to work. You should be collaborating with her on how to make this team better, not trying to low-key tear her down in an effort to put up what you believe to be the veteran on that team. Kelsey Mitchell is the veteran. But she had a lot of seasons of struggles. She had never been to the playoffs before Cece got there. Facts. She hadn't been to the playoffs. When AB and Kelsey was there. No playoffs. CC comes there first year, boom, playoffs. You all can't recognize that for what it is. If the shoe were on the other foot, you would. So why can't you as readily recognize it when it's CC? We're gonna play, and I'm gonna end this video with Paige Beckers saying some of the same things CC said. Same things, but I guess it hits a little different when it's from people you admire. Let's take a listen.
For equal opportunity and no discrimination based on what you look like, who you like, and anything of that nature. I think black women, specifically I grew up with a lot of prominent black women in my life that were very important to me and how I was raised and how I grew up, being my stepmom, my AAU coach. So I understand like how amazing they are and how they should get the same equal opportunity as a white woman, as a white man, to be an important piece of this league. And it was built on a lot of black women, this league was. So it's definitely right for them to get the same equal opportunity as everybody else.
Yeah, you know, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport because of just who you are and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today, earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. You don't feel white guilt. You're evil.
Has Stephanie White been so jaded by white guilt? This is how she feels she has to treat her transformational superstar in order to be accepted at home and possibly in the W? Oh, I know she has her history. She has her place in the W. But why do you have to put your player down in order to elevate another person or another group of women? It's called player hating in the hood, Stephanie. Recognize. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.